variation. We are starting with direct variation, and we are going to be seeing what is direct variation. Okay. Variation. A varies directly as B. A varies directly. So that sign is used for variation, and this means A varies directly as B. Find the relationship between A and B. That's the formula connecting A and B together. So we start with A, that's the variation sign, varies directly as B. A will be equal to KB, where K is the constant. We bring in the constant. So making K the source of the formula, we have A divided by B equals to K. Right. So if C varies directly as N, I said this sign is variation sign, and C equals to 28 when N is 4. Find the formula connecting C and N. So C varies directly as N, C equals to Kn, where K is a constant. So we substitute 28 for C and 4 for N. So K now making K the formula K divided by 28, sorry, K is the formula 20 divided by 4 will give us K. So K equals to 24, 28 divided by 4, which is 7. K is 7. So substituting that into the formula, we have C equals to K. And so since K is 7, C will be equal to 7N. If D varies directly as X and D is 140 when X is 35, A, find the relationship between D and X. B, the value of X when D is 176. So D varies directly as X. D equals to Kx. You know, we have said K is the constant. So making K the sort of formula, D divided by X is K. And we have a value for D, which is 140. Value for X, 35. So that's 140 divided by 35, which will give us for 4. So K equals to 4. So we bring that to the formula. That will give us D equals to 4K, 4X, since K is 4. So we have it D equals to 4X. If B passes, find S when D is 176. So D equals to 4, that's the formula. 176 equals to 4X. So dividing both sides by 4, that's 176 divided by 4 give us X. So that will give us 44. So X equals to 44. That's direct. So we go to the next one, which is inverse variation. A, this sign, this variation sign, A varies inversely as B, not 1 over B. Inverse also has to do with 1. So that the meaning when A varies inversely as B, not as 1 over B. A varies inversely as B. So bringing in the constant, we are K the constant, A equals to K over B. So making K the sort of formula, K will be AB, A times B equals to K. Then we have another one. If X varies inversely as Y, I said earlier it's not 1 over Y, is inversely as Y, and X equals to 22 when Y equals to 3. Find the relationship between X and Y. So we start. X varies inversely as Y. Make K now the constant. X equals to K over Y, where K is the constant. So XY equals to K. And we have a value for X, we have a value for Y. So that's 22 times 3. 22 times 3, which is 66. So K is 66. Substituting into the formula, X equals to K over Y, then since K is 66, S equals to 66 over Y. And that question on inverse, B varies inversely as H, and B equals to 8 when H is 5. So find B when H is 4. Then B question, find H when B is 1 over 4. Well, you must first find the formula connecting them before you can begin to find each of these values. So B varies inversely as H. B equals to K over H. You know, K is the constant, making K sort of formula BH equals to K. And we have a value for B, 8, a value for H. That's 8 times 5. So 8 times 5 equals to K. K is 40. Bringing to that formula, B equals to 40 over H. So we can then find our value for B when H is 4. That's the first question. So B equals to 40 over h, and h is 4, so b equals to what? 4. 40 divided by 4, b equals to 10. Then the second one is to find h when b is 1 over 4. So b equals, from the formula again, b equals to 40 over h. So we substitute for b, 1 over 4 equals to 40 over h. That's cross multiplication. 1 times h and 40 times 4. So 1 times h is h, 40 times 4 is 160. The next one is joint variation. We have three forms in the joint variation. One, two inverse, two direct, one inverse, and one direct. So we start from the two direct. A varies directly, that's the implication of this. A varies directly as B, and A varies directly as C. So that's two direct. So that's the joint. So we now call it A varies jointly as B and C. So we don't need to say A varies directly as B, A varies directly as we just say A varies jointly as B and C. That's two direct. So bringing in K, which is the constant, A equals to K BC, making K the square of the formula A divided by BC equals to K. Now, the second one is one direct and one inverse. So here is A varies inversely as C and directly as B. So A varies directly as B and inversely as C. So that's one direct and one inverse. So we have it now, meaning A varies directly as B and inversely as C. A varies directly as B and inversely as C. Bringing in the constant, A equals to K B divided by C. So making K the source of the formula, AC divided by B equals to K. The third one is two inverse. So that's A varies inversely as B, then A varies inversely as C. And we call it A varies inversely as B and C. We don't need to separate them. A varies inversely as B and C. Since it varies inversely as B and inversely as C, that's two inverse. And we bring in the constant A equals to K divided by BC. So making K the source of the formula, ABC equals to K. So we have three aspects of the joint variation: two direct, one inverse. Then the last one is two inverse. So we solve some question. X varies jointly as X and Y when y is 2, x varies inversely as y and z, sorry, when y is 2 and z is 3, x is 30. Find the relationship between x, y, and z. And then find x when y is 4 and z is 6. So we start. X varies jointly as y and z. X equals to k, y, z. So making K the source of the formula, X over or divided by Y and Z, YZ equals to K. So you substitute 30 for X, 2 for Y, 3 for X. Division will give us 5. So K equals to 5. Bringing that into the formula, X equals to K, Y, Z. So since K is 5, X equals to 5, Y. Then we want to do the B part. We are given the value of Y to be 4 and Z to be 6. So we want to find X. So from the formula, X equals to 5YZ. So since Y is 4 and Z is 6, so X equals to 5 times 4 times 6. And 5 times 4, 20, 20 times 6, 120. We pick another example. One direct and one inverse now. X varies directly as Y and inversely as Z. X is 27 when Y is 9 and Z equals to find the relationship between X, Y, and Z. The relationship between X, Y, and Z. And find X when Y is 14 and Z equals to 12. So X varies directly as Y and inversely as Z. So X equals to K Y over Z, bringing in a constant K. So making K the source of the formula, X Z divided by Y equals to K. You know X is 27, Z is 2, Y is 9. So 9 divided 27, 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So K equals to 6. So bring into the formula, X equals to K Y divided by Z. That's X equals to 6Y divided by 7. Now we can find the B aspect, which is B now says we should find X when Y is 14 and Z is 12. So x equals to 6y over z. So 6 times, since y is 14 and z is 12, so something divided 6 here, 1, 6 here, 2, 2 here, 7. So x equals to 7. The last type of variation we normally talk about is partial variation. I would say x is partly constant and partly varies as y. X is partly constant and partly varies as y. When y is 2, x is 30, and when y is 6, x is 50. So find the relationship between x and y. Find x when y equals to 3. So you come up x is partly constant and partly varies. So that's why we have the two constants, where c and k are the constant. So x equals to c plus k y. C and k are constant. So the first equation we are going to have is x is 30. So 30 equals to c plus 2k because y is 2, equation 1. The second one is 50 equals to c plus 6k because x is 50 and y is 6. That's equation 2. So you solve that equation using, these are two linear equations. We can solve them simultaneously. So subtract equation 1 from equation 2. That will give us 50 minus 30 equals to c minus c plus 6k minus 2k. And that will give us 20 equals to 4k. So k will now be what? 5. So we have a value for k, which we are going to substitute into any of the equations to get our value for c. So we substitute 5 for k in equation 1. Equation 1 says 30 equals to c plus 2k. So since we have a value for k, which is 5, 30 equals to c plus 2 times 5, that's 10. So 30 equals to c plus 10. 30 minus 10 will give us c. C will now be what? 20. So we have an equation x equals to 20 plus 5y. Since we said we have two constants, so the constant c is 20, constant k is 5. So we have to have x equals to 20 plus 5y. So we want to find b, find x when y equals to 3. So from that equation, x equals to 20 plus 5y. Since y is 3, so x equals to 20 plus 5 times 3. 5 times 3, 15. 20 plus 15 will give us 35. Last one more. X is partly constant and partly varies as y. When y is 3, x is 11, and when y is 4, x is 14. Find the relationship between x and y. Find x when y is 10. So we did like the first one. So we bring in x equals to c plus k, y. C and k are constant. Since x is partly constant and partly vary as a soup, we substitute when x is 11, c equals to 3k because y is 3, equation 1. When x is 14, y is 4, so 14 equals to c plus 4k, equation 2. And we're going to solve those two that equation simultaneously, those two linear equations. So you subtract equation 1 from equation 2. 14 minus 11 will give us c minus c equals to 4k minus 3k. So k equals to 3. We have a value for k now. We substitute in any of the equations where we have decided to choose equation 1. So substitute 3 for k in equation 1, and that will give us 11 equals to c plus 3k. So k now is 3. We have 11 equals to c plus 3 times 3. 3 times 3 will give us 9, and that will give us 11 equals to c plus 9. So 11 minus 9 is c. C equals to 2. So we have the values for the constant. C is 2 and k is 3. So x equals to 2 plus 3y. We now need to find the value of x when y is 10, which is the second question. X equals to 2 plus 3y, and since y is 10, x equals to 2 plus 3 times 10. 3 times 10 is 30. 2 plus 30 will give us 32. So x equals to 32. And that's, so we have this as your classwork. If x varies directly as y, and x is 30 when y is 12, find A, the formula connecting x and y. B, x when y is 10. C, y when x is 14. Question number 2, if t varies inversely as x and t is 2 when x is 60, A, find the relationship between t and x. B, find the value of t when x is 90. C, find the value of x when t is 2 or number 1 over 2. Another question, continuation. P varies directly as Q and inverse as the square of r. Q equals to 5 when r equals to 3 and p equals to 20. Find p when q is 6 and r equals to 4. Also, when r equals to find r when p equals to 21.6 and q equals to 15. Then question 4. X is partly constant and partly varies as y. When y is 3, x is 7, and when y is 6, x is 9. A. Find the relationship between x and y. B. Find x when y is 4. When y is 4. Now see you in the next class. I am Adeyemi Alao. Thank you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye.